Welcome to the Inside EcoDevo podcast. I'm your host, Eric Thurman, and if you followed this podcast or any of the department's social media channels, then you have likely heard our motto, which is helping Missourians prosper. You may have also noticed on our website that we're, quote, making Missouri the best place to live, visit, and do business. But that work isn't accomplished by a singular department, team, or individual. Whether it's a business expansion, a neighborhood or community development project, or the location of a new business that is creating jobs for more Missourians, every element of the process includes cooperation, participation, and teamwork. On this episode, we're going to be highlighting a few partnerships through stories that depict the incredible collaboration that is happening across the state during the first quarter of 2024. And we're going to begin in Raymore, Missouri, which is within the Kansas City metropolitan area, at Urban's new 600,000 square foot fulfillment center for Nuuly. Nuuly is the company's women's clothing rental brand. Urban is investing $60 million to build its second Nuuly fulfillment and laundry facility, which will provide capacity to triple its active subscriber base. The company is expected to create 750 jobs over the next 5 years, and for this expansion, Urban is benefiting from the Missouri Works program, as well as receiving assistance from our Missouri One Start team. If you want to learn more about Missouri One Start, I'd encourage you to listen to episode 5 of Inside EcoDevo, but let's hear a little bit more about this partnership.
When we first started the Nuuly business almost 5 years ago in 2019, we could only imagine that one day we would be opening a building this big.
We're hearing David Hain, Chief Technology Officer and President of Nuuly.
But here we are, and today we're incredibly excited to be adding over 600,000 square feet of operating capacity to Nuuly, which will triple the overall capacity that we have in the business, allowing us to grow from our current 200,000 subscribers up to over 600,000 subscribers in the future. And behind me, when these automated carousels are fully constructed, Nuuly will be able to hold an incremental 4.3 million units of inventory for subscribers to rent.
At DED, our mission is to help Missourians prosper.
We're hearing Michelle Hadaway, Director of the Department of Economic Development.
And that's exactly what Nuuly is doing by bringing new investment, new jobs, new opportunities, and not to mention curated fashion. I applaud you for bringing this unique business model that provides consumers the opportunity to experience fashion on a whole new level. Companies like yours are helping Missourians prosper by making our state the best place to live, visit, and do business.
You know, I kind of looked at this thing of helping everyday people.
That's Governor Mike Parson, 57th Governor of Missouri.
You know, not everybody can have a big old closet and pretty clothes and all that. And I remember there's writing a bio that's coming out, but in that history it talked about my mom and dad and how I grew up, and they were sharecroppers. They worked on other people's farms. But, you know, every year at school time, you got 2 pair of jeans. That's what you got. And that had to last you the whole year to be able to do that. And I sat here and I looked at all these clothes and everything, and I thought, how much of a life changer that would have been for anybody in those days to have the opportunity to have nice clothing. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with ours. Ours was fine. But in today's world, so many women out there that maybe can't afford, like some of us are blessed enough to be able to do that, now you can have whatever you want. And I think the meaning behind what the company's doing is outreaches the profit, I guess I want to say. But I want them to make money, and I want them to stay here, and I want them to expand and all that. But at the end of the day, you got to feel pretty good about that. You got to feel pretty good about somebody else. You're going to make them feel a little better that you're never going to see and you're never going to meet and you're never going to know. You're just going to help somebody. I think that's just a unique calling for a business like that. And for us in the state, look, we're going to partner if anybody wants to partner with us. When I say partner, I don't mean we're just going to give you money. I mean we want you to stay here, we want you to be in existence, and we want to make sure you like us and we like you. That's how we develop partnerships. So to give you a little run, 5.5 years, being governor, $15 billion in new investments in our states from companies around the world here in the United States. Over 100,000 new employees in our state. And I'm not talking about jobs we lost. I'm talking about brand new jobs. Simply because we're recruiting companies like this and they're hiring our people. And I'm telling you, Missouri will have the best workforce of any state in the United States if you give us an opportunity to prove it. And that's who we are in this state and why I'm so proud to be the governor of this state. A lot of good things going on in our state. We just need to keep going.
Next, we're moving over to Jefferson City, where Unilever, one of the world's largest consumer goods companies, announced that it will expand its facility in Jefferson City, investing more than $80 million to add operations capabilities to produce Liquid IV, a brand within its health and well-being business. For this expansion, Unilever is also benefiting from the Missouri Works program, as well as our Missouri One Start team.
This announcement builds on a separate $25 million investment that we announced earlier this year.
That's Michael Whalen, director of Unilever in Jefferson City.
And this brings Unilever's total investment here at the site to $105 million. And again, this site has been, in operation for over half a century, right? So it was built in 1966. It's gone through iterations of Q-tips, toothpaste, personal care liquid, and now our nice new addition of Liquid IV. Our location is the first Unilever facility to manufacture products for the health and well-being business. So we've done personal care liquids. Now we're entering the space of health and well-being, which is the first of its kind here, in the business globally.
Somebody working in the field of economic development, very few days, if any, I think it would be very hard to top what today's excitement and announcement brings.
Luke Holt-Snyder, Chief Executive Officer with Jefferson City Regional Economic Partnership.
What we focus on day in and day out is exactly what's being achieved here at Unilever. So we appreciate the partnership. Their decision to make a significant investment back into this facility really is a testament to Unilever's commitment to growth and progress, but it's also a strong endorsement of this community and their confidence in our ability to be a good community partner. This project is going to breathe a ton of new life into this community. The impacts, the ripple effects are going to be felt well beyond the bounds of just this site and these four walls and the 60 plus acres that we stand on here today. And so with that, there's going to be a broad value that the community is going to receive. It came down to two key things that were major considerations on where to make this investment. And one is the infrastructure, and the other is workforce. And infrastructure, Missouri, Jefferson City, we're blessed in a central U.S. location and strong infrastructure assets for transportation and logistics. That puts our star on the map, quite honestly. But what helps close the deal, what sets us apart, I think really is, as Mike has referenced, it's the community, it's the workforce, ultimately it's the people. That's what sets us apart, and that's really the value we bring to these types of projects.
Since taking office less than a year ago, I can say that this has been one of the most exciting projects that we've worked on, and we have done a lot of heavy lifting.
That's Jefferson City Mayor Ron Fitzwater.
Again, with Mike's leadership and Luke and Department of Economic Development. Thanks, Unilever, for having confidence in Jefferson City. Just 2 months ago in January, the company announced that they were investing over $25 million to enhance their current warehouse operations. And now here in March, they're announcing this $80 million new product to our community. Again, it is a partnership. There are people in this room that have been a part of the process, and we're so excited because it took everybody stepping up. There were a lot of pieces to put in place to make this work, and everybody that came in was, what can we do to help? How can we be a part of it? What can we do? So thanks to everybody for the work, because as has been indicated, this was a competitive process. We had to sell Jefferson City. I think Mike was a pretty good ambassador for us, but we had to put the pieces together, and the city stepped up, and we appreciate that.
Over in St. Joseph, Second Harvest Community Food Bank is utilizing a more than $1.5 million ARPA Community Revitalization Grant Award to add 11,500 square feet of cold storage space for perishable food items. This nonprofit provides emergency food assistance to 15 Northwest Missouri counties, distributing more than 6.5 million pounds of food to hungry Missourians annually. This project is going to better support food pickups and receiving local donations.
It's fantastic to see the work that is going on in this community.
That's Kim Fromsdorf, Director of Federal Initiatives at DED.
At DED, through our mission, we strive to create opportunities for Missourians to prosper. And believe me, it wouldn't be possible without all of the people here today working together to make this project happen. Not just is Second Harvest and everyone here making an impact for this large region, service area that you serve. You're nourishing people, you're changing lives, and you're making the state of Missouri better. Throughout the rollout of the department's many ARPA programs, I've had the opportunity to visit organizations like Second Harvest and see the phenomenal work that's going on in communities firsthand. And it's truly exciting to see that the work that's happening, community and neighborhood projects like this, truly are strengthening Missouri's economic development.
This is just one of many great occasions similar to this in the past year all over St. Joe. So we've got a lot of positive energy.
Mike Moore, Principal Engineering Manager with Altec.
You know, I want to mention to you that Altec tries our best to live by a set of core values. There are 9 of them. I'd like to lift up 2 that I think really hit home at the reason why Altec is such a fervent supporter of Second Harvest. You know, first is financial stability. You know, when you can feed your family, money's tight, you can still feed your family. I just can't think of anything more precious than that. And I already actually said the second one, and it is family. We do what we can to strengthen families, not only with Altec Associates, but for indeed all of the families in the communities that we work and live. You know, here locally in town, St. Joseph School District, 70% of our students are receiving free and reduced lunches. Second Harvest serves 19 counties, including my home county of Atchison, Kansas, where I'm going to say several decades ago, I was one of those kids hiding that lunch ticket because it had numbers on it that exposed me as receiving free lunch. And so this means a lot to me. One of the things I really appreciate about Second Harvest, Chad and his staff are just excellent at collaborating with other agencies in the areas that they serve, right? And so they are very efficient at getting it done.
I just want to share how enthusiastic we all are about breaking ground on this long-awaited, I think it's been a good decade, right, expansion project for Second Harvest.
We're hearing Crystal Goldnack. She's chair of the board and president of Jupiter Communications.
Really, it's because it means there is a collective, generous heart. It's all of you, and all of those across our large area who are interested in reducing hunger, which in turn, of course, helps all ages more fully live their best lives as community members of the Great Northwest region of Missouri. Second Harvest staff visited with all 19 counties. And the reason we did that was we wanted to ask for support from locally allocated American Rescue Plan Act, better known as ARPA, funds, which are contributions to support families that we serve in their local communities. Understanding the significant service provided through Second Harvest and the need for receiving more food that requires cold storage, we can't always keep it outside on a day like today. Several of those counties really stepped up to the plate, and we so appreciate them. They're contributing funds to this specific project.
Okay, what is all this doing for us, and what will it do?
Lanny Ellis with Open Door Food Kitchen.
And specifically in picking up. Picking up in the past has been an interesting situation. They have one bay, and that one bay is right next to where they're trying to get work done. And so when you're coming to pick things up, you got to wait until that bay is open until you can get in, and you don't know how many people are going to try to get in at the same time. So with what's going on right now, they will expand that. They'll actually have a dedicated area that is for that, and it will make things much more efficient for everybody, and I'm sure it'll make their job a whole heck of a lot easier. So that's kind of what part of this is about, is making things better so that they can do things even more efficiently in what they're doing. One thing we know is they always do the best with whatever they do have, and we appreciate that.
Back in Kansas City, Americold Realty Trust, a global leader in temperature-controlled logistics, real estate, and value-added services, has officially broken ground on a new $127 million cold storage facility. The new 335,000 square foot facility is part of a strategic collaboration with Canadian Pacific Kansas City to co-locate Americold warehouse facilities on the CPKC network. This facility also supports CPKC's Mexico Midwest Express service, North America's only single-line rail service offering for refrigerated shippers between U.S. Midwest markets and Mexico. And just like previous businesses highlighted, they are using Missouri Works and our Missouri One Start team.
Americold is focused on designing, building, owning, and operating temperature-controlled infrastructure across the global food supply chain with over 120 years of cold storage expertise.
That's George Chappelle, CEO of Americold.
We own and operate 245 sites around the world at every node in the food supply chain, servicing food manufacturers, retail grocery stores, quick-serve restaurants, and food service distribution. We're grounded in our mission to help our customers feed the world. To us, helping our customers feed the world means anticipating trends, delivering a world-class customer experience, and working together to push what's possible. We are continually expanding our network, capabilities, and technologies to better meet our customers' needs. We are focused on delivering a better experience supported by operational excellence and customer service, and we are optimizing the cold supply chain to make it more connected than ever before. We've long been recognized as a premier provider in the cold storage industry, and now we're partnering with another premier provider in the transportation industry, the CPKC. This $127 million investment in Kansas City, which is an important transportation hub, brings to life our strategic collaboration with CPKC to co-locate warehouses on their network. By partnering with CPKC and utilizing their extensive rail network, we're enabling our customers across North America to store and transport goods much more efficiently and effectively than ever before. The facility in Kansas City is an exciting start to this partnership. We look forward to further collaboration with CPKC to provide world-class service to more customers and strengthen the food supply chain.
It's an honor to join as we break ground on a project that symbolizes progress, collaboration, and prosperity.
That's Keith Krill. He's president and CEO of Canadian Pacific Kansas City Limited.
Today is a vision realized through partnership with Americold, the state of Missouri, that frankly was only possible as a result of our historic combination with the KCS, consummated a year ago, not far from here, in Kansas City. The impact of this venture, not just for CPKC and Americold, but also for the entire state of Missouri, the broader supply chain, and the people who depend upon it. As I said a year ago, not far from where we gather today, we celebrated the historic combination of Canadian Pacific and Kansas City Southern Railroads. On that day as well, Governor Parson talked about how this new North American railroad, connecting Kansas City and Missouri to markets across North America, connecting our three countries, would not be good just for the state and for its economy, but for our three nations. We believe that vision too, knowing that CPKC, the first rail network and only rail network linking the U.S., Canada, and Mexico, would lead to more economic growth, development for all communities that we serve and operate in and through. In fact, we made quite an investment in that belief, a $31 billion investment to allow this realization to come true. And this is part of what we see happening here today. CPKC and Americold, two leaders in our respective industries, have come together to develop a state-of-the-art cold storage facility right here in Kansas City on CPKC property. This facility is not just another infrastructure project. It's a testament to our commitment to innovation, efficiency, and enhancing the resiliency of North America's supply chain. By combining our unique rail network with their expertise in temperature-controlled warehousing and logistics, we will create a logistics hub that generates value and new supply chain opportunities while putting more freight on trains and taking trucks off our roads, off our highways. This facility will play an important role in streamlining the distribution of perishable goods across North America, allowing products to move more efficiently from farm to table across all three nations. It will also have a very significant economic impact in Missouri and beyond. It will create jobs both during the construction phase and permanent positions once operational. And to the point made earlier, we're talking about high-quality jobs that support families, stimulate local economies, and contribute to Missouri's standing as a key player in national logistics and supply chain management. The innovative project will attract further investment in the region, encouraging other companies to follow the leadership role that Missouri has taken and to locate here as a strategic location for their our operations as well. It will be a catalyst for growth, just as our merger has. A catalyst for innovation, a catalyst for development, setting a precedence of what can be achieved when industry leaders and government officials work hand in hand toward a common goal.
6 years ago, I said there was going to be true priorities in this state. It was going to be infrastructure and workforce development.
We're hearing Mike Parson, 57th governor of Missouri.
By making those the priority is why we're all here today, is why we did a merger here with Maricold and CPKC. We talked about that merger, and every time that I've been overseas, I've talked about the importance of having rail from Canada to Mexico, the first time in North America and probably the only time in North America that you're going to see that, and the headquarters to be in Kansas City, Missouri. So you're now getting to see what really all that means, why we're expanding businesses here. And Americo coming here is a world leader with businesses all over the world, and to have them to come here to Kansas City is a great opportunity for us. But it's all about partnership. It's never about us just giving money. I'm one person that don't do that. But I'll be the best partner anybody wants to be if they're willing to come here to Missouri and create jobs and create income and make our state a better state. And that's exactly what this merger is today. This is what's making Kansas City so popular right now. It's the infrastructure we're building is why these companies come here. And they just don't come here because they just put a pin on the map someday and say why. It's because of things we're doing to prepare the next generations for the workforce of tomorrow. And it takes the city, the counties, the state, all the entities involved to make this day come. So when I get to come up here and talk about 187 new jobs, the one thing I do know, we're going to be prepared and we're going to have the people ready to go to work when they need them. That's number one priority of ours. Number two, however they get this product in and wherever it goes, we want to make sure we got the infrastructure in place to do it.
Now we're heading over to the opposite side of the state to Clarksville. This community has received more than $11.2 million in CDBG funding for the construction of a flood wall, which will provide greater protection from future flood events and help with the revitalization of Clarksville's historic downtown district. If you want to learn more about the CDBG program and all the things that it has to offer, you can check out episode 8 of Inside Eco Devo. But for now, let's learn more about this flood wall project.
We have a project going on that we've been anticipating in many ways every day for a long period of time.
We're hearing Clarksville Mayor Joanne Smiley.
Since 2008, you have been at the table with us again and again and again and again. And I know there were times when even you thought it wouldn't happen. I didn't. I knew it was going to happen. And it did. It has. But it has happened because you've been with us. You've been for us. You've understood where we are. You've understood this community. Small communities getting this kind of attention, this kind of money, this kind of project. The size of this project is enormous. But it is going to be not only long-lasting for our community, but I think it's going to spread to other communities. I think other people, other communities will see the value in what is happening here.
We are so excited to be here to celebrate not only the amazing project that's going on behind us, but over 50 years of CDBG in the United States.
That's the Director of DED, Michelle Hadaway.
Through a unified purpose, commitment, kindness, and compassion for community betterment, the Community Development Block Grant Program has been making a difference in helping create a positive change for over 41 years in the state of Missouri and over 50 years in this country. And I could not be more proud to be here in Clarksville today, celebrating the phenomenal CDBG success story with all of you. Let's all take a moment to consider the following statistics. 3,592 CDBG projects completed, over 700 counties and municipalities in rural Missouri, 36.6 million Missourians impacted, and $1.2 billion awarded in the CDBG funding. What this tells me is that the history of CDBG has been pivotal for Missouri's rural communities. Although he's not able to be here with us today, projects like these not only align with our department's mission of helping Missourians prosper, they also mirror Governor Parsons' priority of building a stronger and better tomorrow for all Missourians' workforce development and infrastructure.
And I just wanted to take a moment to say how excited we are to be a partner with the city of Clarksville for funding this project that you can see actively going on behind us here.
That's Brandon Jensen, CDBG Program Manager with DED.
This project represents what's truly possible whenever you have a local city that's identifying the needs and pursuing them with the greatest passion that they could, partnered with a regional planning commission that's actively supporting them and accessing all of the dollars that are necessary to make it possible. And then you have the state government who has to step in with alignment, recognizing the needs of the local community, utilizing federal funds. So this is truly a project and an example of what's possible whenever you have every single level of government working together to address community needs. And this is the exact type of project that we see going on throughout the entire country. Director Hadaway shared that just the 41 years of our program's operations and the impact that we've had within rural Missouri. But that's happening in every single state in our nation. All of these projects are only possible with the funding that the federal government gives our state to address these needs, and so it's an honor to be here today.
Sticking with CDBG projects, we're heading over to Palmyra. This community has been awarded more than $580,000 for street, bridge, and detention basin improvements.
We've got a wonderful opportunity here for the city of Palmyra.
We're hearing Mayor of Palmyra, Rusty Adrian.
And we're thankful to the entities of the Department of Economic Development, CDBG, who we are working with to make this happen. And to be real honest about this, without these entities, we would not be able to do this. And I'm so thankful for that. And I appreciate the efforts of the ability of us being able to work together to make something happen in our community. It's going to be a safety correction problem we've had with a single lane bridge going to a 2-lane bridge. And our storm drain is vital to keep flooding from up above this bridge as it flows to the east. So that's going to help correct the problem that we had for water to flow better and for things to not back up as much. This is going to be our 5th culvert that we've started replaced, and we are very excited to get this going and to get it done.
Those who live here know stormwater has long been an issue in the city of Palmyra.
We're hearing Mark Bross, project manager at Klinger and Associates.
Not just in these culverts, but in other areas. And this project goes back to some master planning we did in 2017, and we've actually been able, with the help of funding from DED and others, to accelerate a lot of those projects that were identified in that 2017 master plan. Really, the issues have been, we would get a 1 or 1.5 inch rain and we'd start flooding people out in town. And of course, you can look behind me and see how narrow the road is, and you can look underneath the culvert and see how it was actually built with stone foundations. We're not exactly sure how old these culverts are. They're past time to do something about them, and we appreciate the opportunity to be able to do that. So this project's going to replace this culvert, widen the road to match the width of the existing roadways on either side. Hopefully be able to alleviate some flooding issues we've had in the past. The detention basin upstream at the golf course area is intended to take the peaks off some of the flows we get during the heavier rainfall events, which will impact the entire stream downstream, including what flows through this culvert. So those are mitigation factors that we put in place to try to further help alleviate flooding.
I know we just threw a lot of information at you during this episode, but we're trying to showcase the kinds of partnerships that make projects happen. Team DED doesn't do this alone. Businesses and communities don't do it alone. It takes a village sometimes to get things pushed over the finish line. And as you heard, DED has programs available to help get businesses and communities to that finish line. I mentioned Missouri Works, Missouri One Start, and CDBG, but these are just a few of the many programs that DED has on offer. So if you are a business or community looking for assistance, I'd urge you to go check out our website, ded.mo.gov, and have a look at all the programs we have. You might just find something that fits your need. That's going to do it for us on this episode. If you'd be so kind as to give us a follow, a like, or drop a comment on this episode, we would greatly appreciate it. And thank you for listening.